Dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Qiyamah says, لا أقسم بيوم القيامة ولا أقسم بالنفس اللوامة أيحسب الإنسان أن لن نجمع عظامه بلى قادرين على أن نسوي بنانه بل يريد الإنسان ليفجر أمامه إلى آخر السورة. Surah Al-Qiyamah, as you can tell from the title of the surah, it talks about the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes an oath at the beginning of the surah by the day of judgment and by an-nafs al-lawama. Nafs al-lawama is the human soul which always blames the person for his wrongdoings. Lawm, to blame. And this is in every one of us. Everyone has nafs al-lawama. And everyone is born with the nafs al-lawama. Whenever he does wrong, he regrets, he feels sorry, he blames himself, tries to correct himself. Of course, if somebody continues to suppress that, he will basically kill this nafs al-lawama, and he will not feel regret or remorse for whatever he does. And you see this in some people who continue to go in the way of kufr and the way of sin for years and years. They can kill without any remorse. They can steal, they can commit zina, they can commit whatever without any remorse, as if they are not human beings anymore. And we see this. We see this in people who are non-Muslims and in Muslims who claim to be Muslims but they have lived away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and from the message of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We see some atrocities committed by people who have Muslim names in our countries these days that even animals would not do. You're sometimes surprised, how can someone have no mercy like this? But this is because they have killed this nafs. Yawm al-Qiyamah is a fact. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put a full plan for every human being to be held accountable for his actions in this life. One of the evidence of Yawm al-Qiyamah that it is coming is this nafs al-lawama. This is one of the signs that there is Yawm al-Qiyamah. Because the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put inside each one of us a system to correct them when they do wrong, to blame them and to warn them of the consequences, this indicates that there is something coming that matches with this nafs al-lawama. So one of the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah is the presence of a nafs al-lawama. Nafs al-lawama is something that judges you in this life and holds you accountable in front of yourself in this life. So this is like a smaller version of the true judgment that will come in hereafter. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at every moment, each one of us has put a judge inside the heart of each one of us to correct them. Why is that? So we have no excuse when we come for the real judgment in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why it is mentioned in the hadith in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam described the way of Islam like a straight path. ضرب الله مثلا صراطا مستقيما وعلى جانبي الصراط سوران وفي السورين أبواب مفتحة وعلى الأبواب ستر مرخاة وعلى رأس الصراط داع يقول أيها الناس ادخلوا الصراط ولا تعوجوا وفوق الصراط داع يقول إذا هم بفتح تلك الأبواب ويحك لا تفتحه فإنك إن تفتحه تلجه. قال أما الصراط فهو الإسلام وأما السوران فهما حدود الله وأما الأبواب فهي محارم الله وأما الداعي على أول الصراط فهو كتاب الله وأما الداعي فوق الصراط فهو واعظ الله في قلب كل مؤمن. The hadith is long, but at the very to summarize it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the way of Islam like a straight path. And there are boundaries on each side of this straight path. But these boundaries are not completely sealed. There are doors along each wall on the sides of this straight path. The doors are open, but there is like a curtain covering each door. A curtain covering each door. And now there's someone calling at the beginning of this path, telling every human being, ayyuhan nas, to all people, come into this way, do not go right or left. وَلَا تَعْوَدْ. Keep going straight on this straight path. And then he says, there is someone else calling on top of this path. Above this path, there's another caller. Whenever someone wants to open one of these doors and move the curtain and see what is behind, or go through one of these doors, this other caller says to you, whenever you try to do that, وَيْحَكَ لَا تَفْتَحُ فَإِنَّكَ إِن تَفْتَحُ تَلِجْهُ. I warn you, do not even look through the door. Do not even open the curtain. If you open the curtain, you cannot control yourself. You will go through. And then Prophet ﷺ says, this straight path is al-Islam. Sirat al-Mustaqim, straight path, al-Islam. He says, the walls on each side are hududullah, the limits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put for us. Do this, do not do this. And then he says, the doors, maharimullah, the sins, the desires. And then, but these desires are not just open like this. We have, if someone wants them, they will have to do something to get to them. Open the curtain. But once we open the curtain, we are weak. We have our desires, and the pleasurable thing is in front of us. We will not control ourselves. We will have to go through. وَيْحَكَ لَا تَفْتَحُ فَإِنَّكَ إِن تَفْتَحُ تَلِجْهُ. Do not even look. If you look, you will not hold or control yourself. And then he says, the caller at the beginning of the straight path is Kitabullah, the book of Allah, the Quran, telling all humanity to go into Islam and to follow the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then, whenever we are preparing to commit a sin, or we have the intention to commit a sin, there is something else calling upon us. Aside from the Quran, you don't open the Quran when you commit a sin. The Quran is not calling you anymore at this point. But what is calling you? Your conscience, النفس اللوامة. It says, وَدَاعٍ فَوْقَ الصِّرَاطِ وَاعِدُ اللَّهِ فِي قَلْبِ كُلِّ مُؤْمِنٍ. It is somebody who warns us whenever we want to do something bad, that I warn you. وَيْحَكَ, the word وَيْحَكَ means I feel sorry for you. وَيْحَكَ means pity. I feel pity and I feel sorry for you, because what is going to happen to you is something very bad. وَيْحَكَ لَا تَفْتَحُ فَإِنَّكَ إِن تَفْتَحُ تَلِجْهُ. أقول قولي هذا. والحمد لله رب العالمين، ونصلي ونسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين. اللهم صل على محمد النبي وأزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وذريته وآل بيته كما صليت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. If you look at this image and this example that the Prophet ﷺ set in this hadith, it describes life from beginning to end. Describes everything in life. You can categorize and put every situation that you encounter in your life in this hadith. You can put it as whether you are following the Surah al-Mustaqim, whether you are committing a sin, whether you are coming close to the boundaries that Allah has set for us, and what is calling upon us, the Quran, and our conscience which calls upon us when we do something wrong. لا أقسم بيوم القيامة ولا أقسم بالنفس اللوامة. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say أقسم بيوم القيامة وأقسم بالنفس اللوامة. He put the word لا before each one, which means I do not make an oath by يوم القيامة. I do not make an oath by نفس اللوامة. And scholars mention here that when something is very obvious and it is a fact of life, does not need further confirmation. When I tell you I did this and you don't believe me, I tell you I'm not going to swear for you. You have to believe me. It's a fact. I don't need to make an oath after an oath to prove something that is undeniable. And this is the meaning of la in these ayat. لا أقسم بيوم القيامة ولا أقسم بالنفس اللوامة. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala criticizes this human being for thinking otherwise. أيحسب الإنسان أن لن نجمع عظامه. Does a human being really think that he will not be resurrected again? And that I will not collect his bones and make him just like he was in this dunya? And نجمع عظامه بلى قادرين على أن نسوي بنانا. Not only will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create him just in the general image, but every fine detail, even al-banan. Al-banan is the fingertips. The last part of your fingertips is al-banan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, بَلَا قَادِرِينَ عَلَىٰ أَن يُسَوِّيَ بَنَانًا. I am able to perfect every part of him and make him and recreate him just like he was before, even his fingertips. And as we know these days, that the fingertips of every single human being who came to earth is different from the other individual, even if his twin. Even his twin. And even if somebody lived 1,000 years ago, subhanAllah, and you take the fingerprints and look at fingerprints of people today, you will not find two people the same, and that's why they're using it for identifying criminals and other people, right? Subhanallah, who knew these facts? Who could have mentioned these facts? بَلَا قَادِرِينَ عَلَى نُسَوِّيَ بَنَانَا. If you would have thought about this ayah, just from the outward picture, you would think maybe Allah would say بَلَا قَادِرِينَ عَلَى أَنْ نُسَوِّيَ عَيْنَهُ, his eye, for instance, because the eye is a very delicate thing. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically talked about the fingerprints because there's a secret behind the fingerprints. بَلَا قَادِرِينَ عَلَى أَنْ نُسَوِّيَ بَنَانَا بَلْ يُرِيدُ الْإِنسَانُ لِيَفْجُرَ أَمَامَهُ. Subhanallah, look at the word bal, which means the human being does not need more evidence that there is Yawm al-Qiyamah. It is a fact. It is obvious. There is a God, there is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put us in a trial. He allowed us to do right or wrong. This cannot be left without judgment. Some people committing atrocities all their life and they go like this without any punishment. And some people are oppressed all their life and they are not compensated. Some people are righteous and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, loving Allah all their life, they don't get reward. That's unimaginable. Does not befit the justice of Allah. Does not befit the hikmah and wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does not befit His mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown us all these signs that He is merciful, just, knowledgeable. That He is the King. The true King does not allow people to go like this without holding them accountable. If the accountability has not taken place in this life, a human being, a rational, sound human being who should think it will definitely take place in another life. We have lived a life before this one. Each one of us has lived in his mother's womb for almost 1 year. He does not recall anything about that life that he has lived before, and he was alive. Now we're in the second stage, which is this life. Then will come another stage, which is the grave, and then will come the fourth stage, which is Yawm al-Qiyamah, and what comes after this is the eternal life. So these are just stages. لَتَرْكَبُنَّ طَبَقًا عَنْ طَبَقٍ. You will pass one stage after a stage, another stage, comes another stage. So Allah here says, بَلْ يُرِيدُ الْإِنسَانُ يَفْجُرَ أَمَامَهُ. The word bal means that it is not that he does not believe. It is not that he does not have enough evidence to prove that there is Yawm al-Qiyamah. But the problem in a human being is that بَلْ يُرِيدُ الْإِنسَانُ يَفْجُرَ أَمَامَهُ. A human being does not want any restrictions, does not want any limitations to what he wants to do in this life, to his desires and pleasures. He wants to go ahead and do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, without feeling sorry, without feeling any responsibility. And this is the meaning of this ayah. Because of this desire that we have in our hearts, and every human being has it, people start ignoring Yawm al-Qiyamah and trying to make excuses not to believe in it. Not that there's evidence that there's no Yawm al-Qiyamah. There isn't any evidence that there's no Yawm al-Qiyamah. Everything points towards Yawm al-Qiyamah. But the desires, when somebody wants something very bad, if you try to talk to him, no, don't do this and give him reasons, and you try to ration with him, what does he do? He doesn't even listen to you. He tries rejecting everything that you are saying to him. So this is the fact that whoever rejects Yawm al-Qiyamah, it is not because of lack of evidence, but because overwhelming desire that has controlled his mind, that has controlled his insight. He doesn't want to hear about it, he doesn't want to know anything, he doesn't want to look into the evidence, he doesn't want to think rationally, he doesn't want to use his logic and common sense. And inshallah we'll stop here.